It's another hour of the Screen Team, and it's right here on today's talk, KWOC. We're on 93.3 FM and 9:30 AM. We are being joined by the Whitworths. We've got Jenna and Matt, guys and gals.
Hey.
Hey, we're so glad to have you guys here on the show. We had you guys closer to Halloween, and I was like, guys, I want you back so we can do a dog show. And you guys just looked at me funny like, okay, whatever. But no, like just do a show about dogs and movies and all that kind of stuff. And you guys have come up with a great selection of movies. We're doing a couple of 101 Dalmatian movies, both the cartoon and live action. We're doing Hachi here in a few minutes, but we're going to start off with Homeward Bound. This is one of those classic kind of Disney films that came out in the early 1990s. Out of all the dog movies in the universe today, why Homeward Bound?
This is a personal favorite for both of us. It had one of my favorite actors, Michael J. Fox, in it, and we had, growing up, we had one dog that was kind of like a lot like Chance, and we had an older dog that was a lot like Shadow, so it kind of fit for me.
Yeah.
It felt close to home.
Yeah, and for me, my grandpa and grandma Thomas, they are very much old-fashioned with you have to play outside all the time, doesn't matter how cold it is.
Yeah.
But when they finally got a VHS player back in the day, this was one of the first movies they bought. And so all of us grandkids were super excited because we finally got to watch a movie at Grandpa and Grandma's, and it was Homeward Bound.
It was just like one of those films that you guys just watched over and over and over again kind of thing?
Yep.
This is an interesting film. I've always seen bits and pieces of it, and I've probably seen it in its entirety a long time ago, but nothing that I would fully remember. But I got a chance to watch it, before our reviewing of it, and I enjoy it, man. I was really impressed with the acting of the dogs. And
it's
the
like
cat,
they are
too.
acting.
Yeah.
Not to compare it to one of the later movies we're going to review in the live-action 101 Dalmatians, but they're more like they're doing stunts, and you can tell they're trained for something, whereas within Homeward Bound, it feels like they are acting. Their facial expressions feel very emotive, and it feels... and part of it helps that they have a pretty stellar cast, Sally Fields and Michael J. Fox doing the voices for the animals, but the dogs themselves and the cat, they all feel like characters and not props in a movie.
What I find interesting is the fact that usually when you see most kind of live-action dog films, the dogs, when they're talking, their mouths are moving. Like when you watch the what are those called? The paw movies, the Santa paws and the Air Bud. Their mouths are moving. With this one, they're like talking, through their minds to each other, which I thought was cool, And we got that great cast. Michael J. Fox is in it, and Sally Field, and what's the other guy's name?
Yeah, Shadow's voice. Who was that?
So good.
He was in Cocoon.
Yes,
I can see
my favorite movie from the 80s.
Really, Cocoon is your favorite movie?
Never seen it. I'm kidding.
Oh, if that was true, man, we would just stop everything and start talking about Cocoon.
It's probably for the best.
Wow. Don Amici is his name.
Yeah. Oh, Don Amici. Yeah.
Don Amici is his name, and he's got that just the wise, just strong-willed kind of voice, and he's he just does the part so well.
Yeah, feels like America's grandfather.
Yeah,
yeah, has that kind of voice to him. Who was the actor that played the father? I'm without my notes on him, but he was in Airplane.
He was in Airplane, and I just passed it up too. He was Robert Hayes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Robert Hayes. Yeah, he was in Airplane. One of the craziest stunts I saw in this film was the stunt where they had the cats. I think the cat fell off a cliff or something that and fell into the river, and the two dogs were trying to save the cat.
Yeah, chasing into the river. It was unbelievable because the cat that they had, it looked like they actually had a cat in a river. And I'm sure they did some sort of screen out in like a more mild setting with the cat. And it was the Animal Welfare Board for that area in Oregon where they shot. Had they were on staff, and so I know that they didn't do anything that would harm the animals, but we were watching that part and going, how do they pull this off without
seriously
having to need like multiple cats?
Do you guys have a favorite character in this film out of the animals?
I like all three of them individually, but Michael J. Fox kind of kills it for me in the role. He's so great, and Chance being the narrator, you get more of a window into his perspective, and he has the most transformation throughout the movie. But Don Amici's performance as Shadow is a lot of fun. Again, he has that sage-like wisdom to pass out, throughout the film. And you got to love his dedication to his pet, his boy.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing that I want to mention, that each one of these characters, these animal characters, has what's the word? A pet owner, which is one of the children. They've got, I guess basically you've got these two families combining. It's like a Brady Bunch kind of situation, kind of thing. And each one of these animals has a kid that they relate to. And I thought that was a kind of a neat aspect to this as well. That one lady from Designing Women is in this as well.
Yes.
What is her? Jean Smart is in it. She was in charge of watching the animals, and she failed greatly at that, man. She was supposed to watch it, and that's the cool thing about, dogs and animals in general, and we'll get to that more with the next one, Hachi, is their love and their bondness with their owners. And that's what makes dogs and cats so great, is, the fact that, we love them, but they love us just as much,
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah.
I think they're much more loving than humans are.
Yeah. And they went above and beyond to find them. They're like, hey, they're not coming back home.
Something's wrong.
We got to do something here. So, obviously, families are going to like this. In general, I mean, pretty much toddlers to... I'm trying to figure out the kind of age group who's going to like this film.
It's almost like it's suitable for any demographic. If you like dog films, if you like dogs and cats in general, I think this is kind of a must. It's one of those few dog movies that has a happy ending. A lot of them don't.
That's true.
No spoilers, but there's just a lot that don't have really happy endings. And even if they do, you have to go through a lot to get to that happy ending. And this one you do. There's a few tearjerker moments, like when they help a little girl that's stranded out in the woods reunite with her family.
Oh, yeah.
But, for the most part, it's a fun movie.
It is. It's called Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, and you can find it on DVD. Coming up after the break, we're going to review Hachi, A Dog's Tale. That's next on KWOC.